Capricorn doesn't lose control in a way that shocks people. There is no public breakdown, no emotional explosion, no visible unraveling that forces others to intervene. In fact, Capricorn often looks most stable right before they lose control. Calm. Capable. Grounded. That's what makes it so difficult to recognize, and so easy to miss until it's too late. For Capricorn, losing control is not an event. It's a process. A slow, quiet erosion that happens behind discipline, responsibility, and self-restraint, until one day they realize something essential inside them has gone silent. If you're a Capricorn, or you've ever depended on one, stay with this. This isn't about weakness, or simple burnout, or working too hard. This is about what happens when control becomes the only way someone knows how to survive. This is part of the When Each Zodiac Sign Loses Control series, and if this feels uncomfortably familiar, it's because Capricorn's collapse is designed to be invisible. Capricorn is built around structure. They experience safety through order, predictability, and long-term control over outcomes. Where other signs process life through emotion, Capricorn processes it through responsibility. Their first instinct is not, "How do I feel?" but, "What needs to be handled so things don't fall apart?" Emotion is not denied by Capricorn. It is delayed. Early in life, Capricorn learns that stability is not guaranteed. Whether through environment, expectations, or internal pressure, they develop the belief that things stay intact only if someone is holding them together. And that someone often becomes them. Control, for Capricorn, is not about dominance. It is about prevention. Preventing chaos. Preventing failure. Preventing vulnerability. At first, this strategy works. Capricorn becomes competent early. They learn to suppress discomfort, postpone their own needs, and carry responsibility without complaint. They gain respect by being reliable. They gain security by being indispensable. Over time, responsibility stops being something they do and becomes something they are. This is where the danger quietly begins. Capricorn starts to equate worth with endurance. The more they can carry without breaking, the more valuable they feel. Rest becomes conditional. Emotional expression becomes suspicious. Vulnerability feels inefficient, even irresponsible, because it threatens the structure that keeps everything upright. So Capricorn learns to live in a constant state of restraint. They tell themselves they'll rest later. They'll feel later. They'll take care of themselves once things are stable. But stability, for Capricorn, is always just a little further ahead. Capricorn doesn't process stress through release. They process it through containment. Every swallowed emotion, every ignored need, every responsibility accepted without support adds pressure to an internal system that never vents. And because Capricorn continues to function, no one questions whether they should keep carrying the load. Including Capricorn themselves. This is how control begins to erode without anyone noticing. Capricorn doesn't snap emotionally. They fracture structurally. Motivation weakens in places where it used to be solid. Joy fades slowly, almost imperceptibly. Achievements still happen, but they land in an empty space. Success feels muted. Satisfaction becomes intellectual instead of emotional. They tell themselves they should feel proud. They know they've earned it. But they don't feel it. Have you ever seen someone accomplish everything they set out to do, and feel nothing? That numbness isn't laziness. It isn't ingratitude. It isn't a lack of ambition. It's depletion. Capricorn keeps performing competence because stopping feels dangerous. If they pause, everything they've built feels like it might collapse. So instead of loosening control, they tighten it. More discipline. More structure. More responsibility. They confuse rigidity with strength, not realizing rigidity is often the first sign that a system is under too much pressure. Burnout doesn't announce itself to Capricorn. It disguises itself as duty. They tell themselves they're just tired. Just focused. Just going through a demanding phase. Meanwhile, something deeper is shutting down. Emotional range narrows. Relationships begin to feel transactional. Pleasure feels unproductive. Rest feels undeserved, even when time is available. Capricorn may sit still and feel restless, guilty, or empty, unable to actually receive rest without self-judgment. This is the first true loss of control. Not chaos. Not collapse. But disconnection. Capricorn begins to experience life as something they manage rather than something they inhabit. Days become tasks. Relationships become roles. Identity becomes performance. They are still functioning, still reliable, still admired, but no longer fully present inside their own life. The most dangerous part is that Capricorn often doesn't feel allowed to break. Breaking feels like failure. Needing help feels like incompetence. Expressing emotion feels like burdening others. So they don't reach out. They isolate emotionally while maintaining external control. People continue to see them as strong, composed, dependable. No one sees the cost of that strength, because Capricorn has learned to hide it even from themselves. They keep carrying weight long past the point where it's sustainable, because letting go feels like letting everything fall apart. But here's the truth Capricorn rarely confronts. Control, when taken too far, becomes a cage. Capricorn doesn't lose control when things explode. They lose control when feeling disappears. When discipline replaces desire. When responsibility replaces meaning. When life becomes something to endure rather than something to experience. This is Capricorn's real collapse. A moment, often quiet and internal, when they realize they've built a structure strong enough to survive, without them being fully alive inside it. Some Capricorns describe this as emptiness. Others as exhaustion without relief. Others as a sense that life is passing by while they keep things running. This is the point where control has failed its original purpose. Healing for Capricorn does not come from trying harder, optimizing further, or building more structure. Those strategies are what created the collapse. Healing begins when Capricorn allows softness without collapse. When they learn that rest is not weakness, emotion is not inefficiency, and worth is not earned solely through endurance. Capricorn regains control not by tightening their grip, but by redistributing weight. By allowing others to support them. By admitting limits without shame. By letting themselves feel without immediately turning emotion into a problem to solve. This is terrifying for Capricorn, because it means trusting that the world won't fall apart if they stop holding everything together. But this is where true control returns. Not control over outcomes, but control over presence. Because strength that never bends eventually breaks. And Capricorn losing control isn't drama or failure. It's depletion. A life built on discipline that forgot to make space for the human inside it. When Capricorn learns that they don't have to carry everything alone to be worthy of respect, they don't lose authority. They gain depth. And that depth is a form of power no amount of discipline can replace.